Hi everybody, it's Julie with You to Be Healthy, coming to you today with Tuesday Tips at 10 like we do every Tuesday. We try to give you a few tips how to make your life a little healthier, maybe even a little easier. And today I wanted to come on and talk to you briefly about two big mistakes that women make. And I'll be brief because we don't make that many, right? And all the husbands will be like, oh, here we go. But one of the first big mistakes that women make is we always put ourselves last. My son was injured, not a big injury, but you don't really know that till the x-rays and the doctors and stuff like that. But we spent 8.5 hours at two different children's hospitals, like a branch campus, and they sent us down to the main campus because it was too bad of a break for them to handle at the branch campus. So 8.5 hours, plus he hadn't ate more like 10 hours, hadn't ate, and they wouldn't let him eat or drink anything. And they were asking me like, Mom, do you need something to eat or drink? And I'm like, I will eat and drink when my child can eat and drink. And that's just something us moms do, right? We put our kids first. But I understand why they did it, because they didn't want me going down. And us moms especially, we put everyone first. We put our families first. Oftentimes we put our coworkers first, extended family first, our friends first, and we end up putting ourselves last. And the problem with that is you can't pour from an empty vessel. You have to recharge. You have to refill. And if you go down, then who is going to take care of the people that you love? So it's very important that we make time for ourselves. Don't try to be martyrs. Us women do tend to try to be that way. Look at me, I'm trying to do all this for all these people. Teach your children how to take care of themselves. That's our main job as moms, is not to do everything for them. I'm guilty for it too. I am. But we are doing our children no favors if we are doing everything for them. They must learn to take care of themselves, and our job is to teach them to where they don't need us anymore. Because if they're relying on us, they're wearing us out as they get older, doing things they should be able, that they should be able to do themselves. So that's a big, big mistake that women make. We put ourselves last and put our families and everyone else first. That not just means our physical health, because we oftentimes don't make time to exercise, also don't eat right, but our emotional health and our mental health and our spiritual health. We always seem to there's never enough time for us. It's not selfish, because if you don't fill your vessel up, eventually it will dry up and crack. I don't know how else to say it. If you don't fill yourself back up, both physically, mentally, spiritually, all those things. So don't make that mistake. Work on that. And there's lots of information out there you can look for. Also, the second biggest mistake that women make is they don't learn how to manage money properly. I don't know why. Maybe today in schools they're starting to teach children a little bit more, but most women do not know how to manage money properly. They were never taught. They were never taught any of that. And a lot of men aren't either, but for some reason there seems to be a big issue, like a big disparage between men and women. Women tend to know even less about managing money. That's a big, big mistake. And the sooner you can learn that, the better. And you also need to learn what your work is worth. I mean, I know it's like beating a dead horse, but there's still a pay gap between men and women. There really shouldn't be. I mean, it's closing, but it's closing very slowly. And especially for women who choose to stay home to raise their families, or maybe they just work part-time or off on the side, that type of thing, to help bring in extra money for the income. Most of those women take really low-paying jobs, or low, self-demeaning type jobs, because that's all they think they can get. Did you know that some of the best entrepreneurs in the world are stay-at-home moms? A lot of inventions out there were women who just decided that they had to make money either through a divorce, or maybe their spouse passed away, that type of thing, and they were left destitute. They had no major income. They hadn't worked in years. Even if they could pull together a resume, it really wasn't current. So they got creative and they started their own businesses. I highly recommend that, especially if you're a stay-at-home mom, because you may have been a great career woman, but when you and your husband decided to raise a family and you chose to stay home with your kids, which is a wonderful thing to do. I'm a firm believer of that. Not against women who choose to continue their career. I'm not against that at all. I'm not trying to start any war here. But I know for me, and I can only speak for myself, I didn't want to pay someone to raise my child. So when I was laid off, I was kind of forced into that. But I was almost happy because I didn't have to cry all the way to work because I knew I was leaving him at someone's house instead of taking care of him myself. That was for me. You may relate to that, you may not. But a lot of women who choose to stay home and raise their families lose themselves in their career. From they just don't have it. So even though they retain the knowledge, if 10, 20 years goes by, they don't have anything current. So even when they do try to enter the workforce again, they don't really have anything current. There's not a lot out there for them. Highly recommend starting your own business, and that's where I can help you with that as well. So I told you I'd be brief. Today I wanted to give you an offer, and I'm going to put it down in the comments below, is we are having Dr. Jamie McManus come on tomorrow night, Wednesday, April 29th, or May 29th at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. She's coming on online. We're having an online webinar. It's free, and she's going to discuss some different aspects of women's health. Dr. Jamie is extremely knowledgeable in women's health. I highly recommend you get on this webinar. I'm going to put the link down below. I hope you can join us. And if you also want to discuss a little bit more about, maybe a little bit more about money issues and women and money, or women in their health, reach out to me. We'll have a personal one-on-one conversation. I'll be happy to help you any way I can. Thanks for joining in, guys, and have a wonderful, wonderful day. Take care.